First of all, I want to give a special thanks to the host for giving me this opportunity. So let's start now. Of course, I love reading books, and there are also so many reasons that why I love reading books. Like, I usually read books because as I'm a student, I have to read all the time. I have to read textbooks, etc. But if I move to other things like storybooks, then yeah, it is kind of my hobby. So that's why I think so. I love reading books. Okay, there are so many kinds of books that I love to read. Maximum of them are storybooks, not textbooks, because I hate them because they are the part of my study, and I don't love study as well. So I love to read storybooks. So these are the types of books I love to read. But if I clarify this statement, then where I love the books that usually what are usually come from Japan. That means the storybooks named mangas. Well, there are so many mangas I love. Like and there are also so many series of them. If I give some examples like Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, Demon Slayer, etc. But among them, my favorite mangas are Jujutsu Kaisen. There are so many volumes of them, so many chapters. So I love Jujutsu Kaisen mangas more, and these are the kinds of books that I love to read. Well, I have read so many books, and I didn't think that I need to choose the best book I have ever read. But if I guess now, then it would be Jujutsu Kaisen mangas because as they are my favorite ones, so I wish they're also the best book I have ever read because whenever I am going to a long journey, I always keep these mangas with me because while I am on a long journey, I can read these mangas. So I can clearly say that this type of mangas named Jujutsu Kaisen is the best book I have ever read. Then, if I move to another question, then the answer will be okay. I read all the time. As I'm a student, I have to read all the time because I have to read so many textbooks. Uh, in fact, at my home, there are so many textbooks around everywhere. So I have to read it every time because my parents don't let me to read the storybooks. So, but I save time for the storybooks. I don't usually read them, but I usually read the textbooks as I am a student. So I can clearly say that I have to read all the time, and I read every day, every day. So that's all. And if I move to another question, then the answer will be again. Yes, I have so many books at my home. Like there are so many books. There are so many books. Like everywhere is cluttered with books. So I can clearly say that I have so many books at home. I can say that my home is kind of a library to me as a joke because it's the same as library. My friends come to my home and they ask me why there are so many books around your home. I don't answer them. So that's all. So now you can realize that how many books that I have in my home. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Well, I prefer both, like to buy books or borrow them. But there are two types of people. One of them are like who likes to make a collection of books. They must buy books. They shouldn't borrow them from the other friends, from the other persons. But the one who loves to read, the who doesn't love to collect the books, then the greatest advice for them is to borrow them, because if they buy books, then they will not read it after they read it the once. So I can clearly say that they should borrow them and give it back to the person they borrowed the book from. So I can so but so that's why I can say that I prefer both. Let's move on to the next question. Well, there are so many benefits of reading, like it refreshes your mindset. If it's your hobby, then really great because it improves your fluency, it improves your pronunciation, etc. and it also increases your imaginating power. So there are so many benefits. I cannot explain them in that class. So let's just move on to the next question. Well, as I have said that on a long journey, I usually take Jujutsu Kaisen mangas with me because they are my favorite, and I love to read them on my long journeys. But if I talk about more, then if the long journey is like related to some familiar books that I have in my home, then I would like to keep them with me on a long journey, and I would like to read it on my long journey. So it depends on my mood and the environment on to the of the long journey, that what book will I choose. But since now I have already chosen I have always chosen the Jujutsu Kaisen manga, so I can clearly say that I will also choose Jujutsu Kaisen mangas on my long journey in the future. Okay. Well, in English, it is kind of critical because there are so many words that I don't know the meaning. I ask the meanings in Google Translator, and sometimes I don't because I don't think so that I need to. But it's like in the medium stage, so I'm not good. I'm not very good at grammar, so I can clearly say that it is like medium difficulty to me to read books in English. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Well, in my country named Bangladesh, reading books is a popular activity. Even in my country, the in my country more in my country, most people's favorite activity and hobby is to read books. So I can clearly say that reading books is a popular activity in my country. Well, yeah, electronic books or ebooks are better than real books, but I don't know. But I also disagree that, and also agree that. Here's the reason why. Because I like electronic books because they don't use papers, and they don't use papers, and they save trees. But I also love real books because they have the smell of papers, and I love the smell of papers. So that's why I think that both are great. But if I think about the ecosystem, then I would always choose that electronic books are better than real books. So I have done giving my speech, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. And it was nice presentation of your thinking about books. Thank you once again.